This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Holiday homecoming, how hundreds of families are being reunited in time for Christmas. Plus, how a man overcame a debilitating accident to create a legacy of giving traditional toys. And from Ralphie to Elf, why one family is casting their young son as 12 festive film characters. Welcome to a special holiday edition of CTV News. We're unwrapping stories that Adam Sawatsky has found over the past few years about ordinary people recognizing the season in extraordinary ways. Let's begin at Canada's West Coast Naval Base CFB Esquimalt, where hundreds of families are celebrating being reunited and home for the holidays.
Like the song says, "I'll be home for Christmas," this arriving crew said, "You can plan on me."
Daddy's waving! Daddy's waving!
And these waiting families are ready to realize a reunion that was only in their dreams.
So I was tossing and turning all night because I just was really excited to see her, right?
Well, there's no snow, no mistletoe. After 4.5 months at sea, Marjorie says this homecoming will be better than any present under the tree.
The kids are older and they just miss Daddy a lot more.
After missing his daughter's first teeth and first steps, Kayla's dad is arriving just in time to mark more milestones.
I'm happy that he's going to be here for our first Christmas and birthday.
Well, Adam couldn't be happier his wife Hemi was selected to start the celebrations by exchanging that ceremonial first kiss.
And now I'm super happy to see my husband.
They're also looking forward to starting a family for the first time.
Babies.
And then Stephanie starts singing the first song. A soundtrack to celebrating after being separated by a sea for so long, to finally connecting.
It feels like a dream, honestly. But here I am, holding my daughter in my hands, so I'm happier than I can be.
For these families reuniting, what was only in their dreams is now a homecoming where the love light gleams.
I'm just so happy to have him home.
It's so good to be home.
When Adam's random search for a story led to a man donating a handmade gift to a children's charity, he found out how a debilitating injury led to constructing a legacy of generosity.
To appreciate why Lyndon Franz is so festive now, we need to go back to that day he got a nail stuck in his eye.
It's probably about that size.
Lyndon was 14 when his friend threw a bunch of nails at the back of his head as a joke,
And I turned around and got one in the eye.
leaving Lyndon permanently blind in one eye and unable to play his beloved baseball.
I mean, the one thing I loved doing, I couldn't do anymore.
Lyndon says he struggled for years before discovering a passion for photography.
It was amazing.
And like his picture of the sun rising on a new day, Lyndon learned creativity could brighten his life.
I knew I could just keep going on.
Until years later, when he had to give up photography after being hospitalized for debilitating bouts of vertigo, which led to a severe and chronic condition.
My brain is telling me I'm falling all the time.
Leaving Lyndon spending most of his energy simply trying to stay up.
It's tough. Just try to keep going every day.
But like he did after the nail, rather than focusing on all the things he couldn't do, Lyndon taught himself something creative he could.
So I just started playing with the wood.
Making simple wooden toys, which led to constructing more complex ones.
And I just really enjoyed it.
Well, after gifting the first few to his grateful grandchildren, Lyndon has spent the past few years being inspired by Santa, making hundreds of toys to donate to local daycares and children's charities for Christmas.
The thing about wooden toys, the kids can use your imagination a lot more.
Although, when he receives photos and thank you cards showing how much kids like his toys, you don't need to imagine how meaningful it is for Lyndon. You can see it in his eyes.
I need to do something, and if I can give back a little bit, well, that just makes it all the better.
From wooden toys to merry mailboxes, here's the story of a pair of co-workers who stepped up during a postal strike to ensure that children who write to Santa wouldn't be disappointed.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus.
Well, she may be a questionable caroler,
I don't know the rest of the words, we should have picked Another song.
Tina Marsh was certain about what to do when the postal strike started encroaching on Christmas.
And I was like, what if we collect letters?
So she asked her co-worker Tracy Barry if she wanted to step up and help Santa too.
I jumped on board and I said, let's do it.
So the festive friends posted a bunch of messages on social media, constructed magic mailboxes at the end of each of their driveways, and invited kids to drop off mail addressed to the North Pole.
And then we contact Santa. We let him know we have them.
And then Santa lets us know how we want to reply.
A couple days later, wearing honorary elf outfits, Tina and Tracy are starting on the 40 letters they've received so far.
Dear Santa, hope you and Mrs. Claus are doing well.
And it's a good thing Mr. Claus is ultimately overseeing this operation, they say, because they aren't always aware of the most in-demand toys.
Squishmallows or something. I'm not sure what those are.
But what Tina and Tracy do know is that this is a big responsibility that they don't take lightly, especially when the kids put so much care into all the creations they include and so much hope into some of the wishes they make.
This year, I wish for war to stop in my country.
You just realize this time of year can be really tough for people. So to bring a little bit of joy, it makes us feel good.
Well, the joy is proving to be contagious. When the clients who Tina and Tracy support at this day program for people with brain injuries heard about the plan, they offered to help decorate the reply envelopes. But how do you feel about helping Santa?
Proud to be one of Santa's helpers anytime.
Jingle bells.
Now, as Tina and Tracy prepare to drive across 3 municipalities to hand deliver each reply from Santa, they hope that what each child receives proves to be priceless.
You know, you can never have enough kindness on the planet, and especially at this time of the year.
In a one-horse open sleigh.
A volunteer coach's unexpected Christmas past is inspiring him to make Christmas futures better for kids in need.
Now your children can relive our great space battle.
Jim Knutson doesn't need to watch old commercials
The Millennium Falcon.
to remember that Christmas, all the kids wanted Star Wars toys.
And when you're the poor kid, you're not getting it.
Well, not getting anything for Christmas is hard, Jim says. The hardest part is having to keep it a secret when you return to school.
Deep down, you feel like you're not as good, like you might have done something wrong.
Which is why Jim was so surprised that one Christmas, he not only unwrapped a toy, but the biggest Star Wars toy of them all.
Wow, this is the coolest toy ever. Millennium Falcon.
Well, Jim didn't know then it was a gift from a children's charity. He'll never forget how meaningful it felt, returning to school with not only nothing to hide, but something to share.
I felt like I was normal. And it was the greatest day of my life.
Decades later, that day's inspired Jim to give back, volunteering as head coach of his kids' team and inspiring their minor hockey association to raise more than $37,000 for the charity that once helped him.
We have to all work together and we achieve something that is greater than the sum of us.
Jim's work on and off the ice has earned top coach and sportsmanship awards, along with kudos from his players and their parents.
And they want to play for Coach Jim because he inspires them.
Teaches us to be really good to other people and stuff.
Whenever we win or lose a game, he always makes us feel like we've won in our hearts.
Well, this year, Jim's challenging all the minor hockey associations he competes against to come together and raise even more money for the charity. And like all years, he'll personally be donating whatever the modern-day equivalent of the Millennium Falcon is.
And I always write on the back, "You are loved."
So they can feel not only normal,
man, you are.
but special.
Now to the story of how unexpectedly seeing Santa as a child inspired a woman to grow up and create a meaningful holiday display.
This is a general theme of...
This is not a story about the 8 Christmas trees inside Yvette's house.
I think about it 24/7, 365.
And this is not about the room she keeps decorated all year round.
Christmas isn't just a day, it's a frame of mind.
This is a story that begins with the Christmas she'll never forget.
Starstruck, I was just like, oh my God.
When Yvette was 6 and spotted Santa and Rudolph on a roof.
It was just magical.
It was a feeling of joyful discovery that decades later Yvette strived to inspire in her students as a teacher until her career was cut short by a debilitating autoimmune disease.
Really hard, because teaching was everything.
It was like the Grinch had stolen her sense of self and purpose, Until one day, while recovering from surgery, she found a set of painted plywood Christmas characters online.
And I was like, oh my God, it's vintage. I have to get it.
They reminded Yvette of that Santa she saw as a kid and decided to refurbish them.
It was an outlet for me to take my mind off my pain.
Although she was confined to her bed, Yvette turned it into a studio, and despite no previous propensity for creativity, started making her own yard art.
But I was also wanting to give back to society still, because I've had this void of not teaching anymore.
So, with her husband Trevor's help, Yvette decided to display more than 100 of her custom creations and more than 100 of these vintage pieces to fill their front yard with countless festive characters.
This display is kind of a tribute to the students I've had in the past, the students that I missed out on having in the future.
A display unlike her family's personal trees. A display she plans for in this year-round Christmas room that used to be the office she marked papers in. A display that's proved to be an unexpected and priceless gift for Yvette. A renewed sense of self and purpose.
How can you not be happy thinking about how you're going to make people happy? Like, that's what I want to do, is make people happy.
To possibly inspire a child like she once was, to also think of Christmas as more than a day, but a joyful frame of mind.
A display of seasonal cinema inspired Adam to stop and find our next story. It's about a couple that received unexpected gifts after placing an iconic movie prop in their window.
Before it became a love-filled home, the neighbors dubbed this the leg lamp house.
It's a lot of pressure, because people get mad if we don't put it up quick enough.
This prop from the festive film A Christmas Story.
But we both love the movie so much, so we hope there's kindred spirits out there.
Like Kathy and Mike, who became fast friends before falling in love.
We're just kids at heart, really, ourselves.
We want to have kids right away, right?
Yep.
And start a family and have a big one.
And it seemed like they were on track for all that, until they weren't.
It just wasn't happening. We went through fertility treatments and still no go.
6 Christmases passed, and countless days were spent decorating their baby's room in their heads.
And it's just kind of heartbreaking when you can't use that room.
After exhausting every option, they applied to adopt and hung an empty frame.
Hoping one day it would be filled with a baby picture.
And when 2 years after that, their one day came,
best Christmas.
baby Sarah filled the frame that year after Kathy and Mike worked 24 hours straight to create a room for her.
Building change tables and building cribs and all that night, yeah, so she wouldn't have to sleep in a drawer.
That was 10 fun-filled years ago.
I could imagine having a better family.
And 2 years after their best Christmas ever, adopting Sam into the family turned it into the bestest of the best. And then, just when their feelings of gratitude couldn't get any bigger,
Kathy gave me the pregnancy test for my birthday, both times.
For both Peter and Emma.
These two surprised us. So, it's been great.
It's been a perfect reminder of how life can unexpectedly unwrap itself.
The bad might be louder some years, but if you look, you'll find the good parts and, remember them. Keep the hope alive.
And if one year you see a broken leg lamp up, it won't have faced the same fate as in the film. It was probably just a casualty of a family filled with kids at heart.
Coming up, holiday at the hospital. How a 7-year-old is helping to make hospitals more hospitable over Christmas. Stay with us. Welcome back to this special holiday edition of CTV News. A young girl is striving to overcome adversity by giving back to others. And as Adam Sawatsky shows us, making hospitals more hospitable.
Jamie Lynn Fromelt was playing in her neighborhood the last time we spoke, revealing how her dream job would be walking 100 cats at a time.
Some people need a break from cats because they scratch up a lot of things.
But now, the 7-year-old is waiting in a hotel room for yet another visit to the children's hospital away from home.
I'm sad. I'm scary.
Over the past 2 years, Jamie Lynn's been treated in hospital 17 times for potentially life-threatening liver disease.
She should not have to have gone through everything she goes through.
Amanda Fromelt says her daughter has to endure an invasive procedure to stop internal bleeding every 6 to 8 weeks.
But she goes through it all with a smile, and she doesn't complain about a thing.
And she's grateful that the hospital's child life specialist, Diane Edwards, strives to make the experience more manageable by delivering something to distract from the discomfort.
And all I had to provide to her at that time was coloring and crayons. Sometimes our donation cupboards are bare.
When Diane left the room that day, Jamie Lynn made a declaration.
Mom, we gotta buy them toys. I was like, well, let's get you out of the hospital first.
Jamie Lynn started a fundraiser, which raised $2,600 worth of donations, bought toys for children of all ages, and delivered them to the hospital.
I think that's pretty remarkable for a 7-year-old who's had years of medical intervention, and she didn't just think it, she did it.
And this week, Jamie Lynn did it again, this time raising more than $3,200. And the day before she left for her own procedure, dropped off all the toys she bought at her local hospital just in time for the holidays.
Because on Christmas I want them to have toys. I hope they feel happy.
And Jamie Lynn also hopes, like swinging makes you giggle, her spreading kindness will be contagious.
If you spread it off to some people, they will spread it off to more people. It will be a world of kind.
A world of kindness. Well, now to the story of a Christmas-loving boy named Nicholas who realized his goal of being just like his namesake.
Christmas was the last thing on Stephanie's mind when she first named her baby boy Nicholas.
Because he's a March baby. He's not a December baby, but he's all things December, right?
For as long as she can recall, Nicholas has been infatuated with Christmas. Although his 8th birthday was in the spring, his favorite present was his very own Santa suit, which he ended up wearing the following winter to pose with the big guy himself.
It just feels fun being him because you get to deliver all these presents to the kids, and then you have a big warm heart afterwards.
But rather than warm, during a recent run this fall, Nicholas felt worried.
I don't want kids to wake up and have nothing under the tree.
The now 11-year-old knew the past year had been so tough for so many, so he decided to try running 10 kilometers to raise money for charity.
Wow, we can be very humbled by our children, right? They teach us so much.
Go, Nicholas!
And Stephanie couldn't help but consider how much compassion, empathy, and resilience her son had as he kept running despite the relentless rainstorm and achieve his fundraising goal of $10,000.
And I was like, it just felt like Christmas.
Which made Nicholas feel like he wanted to give even more. So he asked if he could use some of the money to help shop for all the kids in need.
So Nicholas, let me just back up a little. Nicholas can't stand shopping. Of all 3 of my kids, he'd be the last one I'd want to bring to a store.
Which is why it was so surprising for Stephanie to see how joyful Nicholas was in his Santa state of mind, thoughtfully choosing just the right toy for each child on his list before donning his suit and delivering bags and bags full of presents to Toy Mountain.
It's like a tingling feeling. This comes into you.
That feeling you get while focusing on giving over receiving, that feeling Nicholas got, realizing his dream of being just like his namesake.
Coming up, merry movies. Adam finds out how a family is celebrating the season by transforming their young son into 12 festive film characters. Finally, Adam Sawatsky finds out how a family found a cinematic way to celebrate the season by recasting beloved holiday movies with a brand new star.
Before Santa gets here, Jack will stop dancing and start visiting a few of his festive friends, Frosty, Santa, and Ralphie.
You used to actually wear that.
But before the boy was dressed as the character from A Christmas Story, his dad saw an ad for another festive film.
Your costume is pretty.
Oh, it's not a costume. I'm an elf.
And I just thought like how great it would be to see Jack in that getup.
So Todd crafted an elf costume. His mom, Nicole, captured the moment on camera, and it went so well, they wondered about transforming Jack from a merry mower into the star of the 12 days of seasonal cinema.
You know, eventually he'll get to have these great shots of himself as a kid within these movies that he'll come to love over the years.
They began with the movies he can already watch, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and A Charlie Brown Christmas.
For the most part, he did really well. Like he even threw some facial expressions that were perfect for, you know, his character.
Like Kevin McAllister's confident smirk in Home Alone, or Clark Griswold's fleeting moment of triumph in A Christmas Vacation, despite Cousin Eddie emptying the RV.
What you have to do is just chase them around until you get a good picture of them. You know, distract them, use, you know, Christmas ornaments.
Jingle all the way. Pray there's no gremlins in the camera, and you'll get a good picture
Gremlins is
of
a Christmas
Bad Santa.
movie?
I know one day my son will appreciate having these memories.
Although he may grow up to be one of those people who actually hates Love Actually, or would rather than jingle all the way, say yippee-ki-yay, Jack will always appreciate how he learned that if you don't watch out, that Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle just might shoot your eye out.
Get the idea that, you know, spending time with your family, using your hands in a creative way is a good way to bring joy into the world.
I think the Die Hard one is my favorite. Well, that is it for this special holiday edition of CTV News. Wishing you and your loved ones health and happiness, and thank you so much for joining us.